Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Hearts of Iron 4. Man the Guns, playing as the United Kingdom, currently with no government. This is an awkward pickle that we find ourselves in, but it's going to end up being pretty good for us, I think, in the long run. Especially if we're able to put together the dream team of Churchill, Mosley, and George. It's going to be really, really good. We're working on that extra research slot at the moment and just kind of waiting with bated breath to find out what's going to happen next. Still working on producing extra infantry equipment and so on. We don't really have much in the way of military factories. Normally, as a democratic nation, we would hope to outproduce the Axis and the Soviets, at least before World War II breaks out. And you want to focus on a lot of extra civilian factories. And to an extent, I think our naval focus tree is still kind of built toward that, with our limited rearmament and so on. I think we'll end up going for the Royal Ordnance Factory next, though, for 6 extra military factories. That's pretty darn good. The upper classes oppose the marriage. They're just jealous that he's found love, but we lose more political power and stability and support. Our stability is absolute garbage right now. I have no idea if we can expect this to actually improve when we do get married. Again, I think maybe it's just a roll of the dice. If this is a permanent base change in our stability, then maybe we come out of the marriage looking pretty good and better than we were before, or we are permanently crippled for the rest of the game. I'm not sure. I guess we are going to find out. I'm not going to spend our extra research boosts quite yet. I think we'll end up going for the construction and the machine tools tech. For now, we could go for the maintenance companies. I could also upgrade my artillery. I think maybe we want to go for a better fighter. Or, no, you know what, let's go for the weapons and equipment to get ourselves back on time with this. I don't know, with 5 research slots, I think we're going to find ourselves picking up pretty much everything at this stage of the game. We're going to look A-okay in research, I think. Britain did not suffer for technological innovation during the war, that is for certain. The working classes support the marriage. Yeah, screw you, upper class. There's some more base stability. Yay! The more popular we are, the better our stability is going to look. We're up to 30% support for non-aligned. I wonder, it'd be really interesting if you had to get to like 50%, and that's what triggered the marriage. If that were the case, okay, that may actually be the case now that I think about it. If that were the case, that's a compelling reason as to why we should have gone for the more disastrous non-morganatic marriage option at the beginning of this event. Just to get this done faster. Let's pay attention to that. When that event comes through, let's see if we're at 50%. There's the extra research slot, and there's the field hospital done. Okay, so we're going to go for the upgrade to our artillery. And, yeah, let's just go for the fighter. Let's just do it. We got a few months. All right, so we got our extra research slot. I want to do this. Why can't I? Oh, right, we have to be at war. Darn it. Okay. So if that's not an option, we could go for the motorized army and then work toward the research bonus for armor for early medium tanks. Alternatively, we can go for reinforce the empire for just the base stability right now. And that's kind of literally all I can do. I'm not going to decolonize. I just want to make sense. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this entire tree is incompatible. They're going to break free as is. Let's go for reinforce the empire. We're going to gain some of that base stability and get the extra production output. Dominions break with the crown. As one, representatives of the Dominion governments have informed us that they will be unilaterally breaking ties with the crown. They cite the king's flagrant disregard for the opinions and wishes of the Dominion governments and their peoples as the primary reason for why the British Commonwealth relationship can no longer continue. As one Commonwealth official stated in a heated interview, a king who is incapable of putting duty above his personal feelings cannot be trusted to act in the best interests of his subjects. Based on recent events, we can determine the king does not care at all for the domestic public opinion, and if this is the nature of his relationship with the British people of all things, then the situation can only become worse for his subjects in the Commonwealth. To safeguard the interests of our peoples, we therefore see no alternative but to remove the king as our head of state. No doubt they will hope that our present political paralysis will prevent us from acting on this abrupt move. Oh, you wish. What is going to end up happening is I'm going to declare war on all of these dominions and bring them back into the fold. We are powerless to stop them for now, lose a lot of political power. The Allies faction is dismantled. We leave the Commonwealth Research Group, and we lose even more base stability. Things are not looking especially good. Really not. Canada's free. India's free. Frickin' Australia and New Zealand are free. It's just ridiculous, man. South Africa, too? Traitors, the lot of you. Oh, good. The newspapers are now supportive. I think they just go for whatever's going to give them the most clicks, to be honest. We do still have British Malaya as a subject, and if we wanted to build some stuff here, we could integrate them pretty cheaply, but I think what we're going to find is going to happen is we can start fomenting a loyalist rebellion in each of these countries, and we're going to want to have a lot of political power available to do that, so we're probably not going to integrate Malaya for a little while, fun though that might be. Let's just instead focus on trying to rebuild ourselves as much as possible. Good lord. We're only making 0.11 political power per day. That's so bad. It's really bad. All right. We need to produce some more troops. We have not been recruiting anything for a while. I think now is a good time to do so. What's our logistics looking like? Well, we're missing a lot of infantry equipment. That's my primary problem. I suppose what we could do is just go ahead and start editing our templates. For example, toss in some extra infantry to get 20 combat width. Throw in... Well, I can't throw in the field hospitals yet, but okay. Yeah, we'll just do this, get up to 20 combat width. All of our troops are going to have to start reinforcing a little bit. That will use some of my precious manpower. More support for the marriage from the working classes. I love you guys. You've been amazing. The Polish-Romanian alliance. I have no idea if that's going to hold against Russia. Probably not. Germany's not going to be inclined to kill Poland in this game. So I have no idea what's going to happen there. Ooh, we should have tried to direct the AI path of Poland. That could have been kind of fun. Because they got a lot of different directions they can go. Ah, well, it's fine. Do we want to go for some special forces? Maybe. By the way, one thing that was added into the game, aquatic vehicles, so we can actually have better naval invasions. That's certainly pretty cool. Do I want to go for more support companies with maintenance? Not yet. Do I want to go for this with heavy tanks? Not yet. I'm already doing this. We could start researching some anti-tank. I could also start researching some more naval equipment, such as depth charge throwers, which are better at destroying the submarines, or perhaps active sonar. New heavy ship hulls could be kind of nice. Better submarine hulls could be kind of nice. I don't know what's best. I think we're going to go for the submarine hull. It actually doesn't take that long to research, to be honest. I mean, one heck of an engineering team if you're able to build a new submarine hull from scratch in only 3 months. Just saying, that's amazing. As somebody who works in that field, I have to tip my hat in awe. All right, let's just go ahead and start training up some new troops. I know we won't be able to do anything with them for a little bit, but I want to train up at least 5 so we can have a 24 stack in the UK. We are going to be able to take over Ireland pretty early on in our focus tree once we do assert ourselves in the party. So there we go. We no longer get the effects of support for the king. So does that actually change my stability back to what it was before? Wartime industry, change in the course. I don't know. A royal marriage. All right, we finally did it. At long last, the joyous date for the royal marriage has arrived. Crowds have gathered in the thousands all along the route traveled by the couple from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. Domestic resistance to this marriage has increasingly showed its impotence through symbolic resignations and other vain protests, and now seems all but silenced. The last such act was the retirement of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Cosmo Lang, and his subsequent replacement with an individual more amenable to the king's wishes. In the face of the political turmoil this crisis has caused, the celebrations now ongoing are a deeply necessary in returning a semblance of normalcy to public affairs, and as a starting point from which to resolve the present political issues. But will it mend the divides in our nation? More support for non-aligned, more stability, more political power. Okay, so it's taking us about a year, almost exactly 1 year, but we have resolved this issue. Now we need to go for the King's Party and solve the fallen government. So let's finish the Reinforce the Empire and then move on. By the way, a new feature in Man the Guns, one that has been requested for a very long time, the ability to change your focus. Suppose we didn't like this anymore and wanted to switch right now. We could. We're not going to because I don't want to lose the progress, but it's an option. Really glad that Paradox added that into the game. There have been a few cases where I have changed my mind partway through and like, you know what, I regret my decision. Or perhaps the international diplomatic stage changes a lot. I don't know. Do you want services overseas? Not really at the moment. So yeah, let's go for the King's Party. Okay, this changes a lot of stuff. We will gain the national spirit, the King's Party. Political power gain. Generate war goal tension limit goes down. Lend-Lease tension limit goes down. Send volunteers tension limit. Guarantee tension limit. Ideology drift defense. Lots more support for unaligned. The King's Party becomes the ruling party. There are no public elections for the rest of the game. Change in popularity goes up by 15%. We no longer have the reduced weekly stability from Edward, and instead we become an inexperienced imperialist, reducing political power gain but increasing stability and war goal time. This will improve eventually. And we gain our 3 political advisor options if we can get the political capital to get them. So, we need to pick this up. 70 days, absolutely required. Yeah, this is just something we're going to need. By the way, I just realized, freaking imperialism. We're an inexperienced imperialist. That's going to change. We're going to reestablish the British Empire and scream imperialism at everybody, I hope. Now, one big problem with all of our Commonwealth former vassals, they are still in a faction together, so if we attack one, we attack all of them, which is going to be a little annoying. A change in course just ended, so that's gone. We are making basically no political power per day until this happens. We get some better guns. Okay, it is 1937, so let's go to industry and improve our construction. We get a significant research boost for this, so this should go pretty fast. Pakistan declares war on India. No way. Really? That's a thing. Pakistan apparently, by the way, has land down here. How the heck did that happen? Huh. Well, I don't know who's going to win this one. I'm guessing India or a stalemate. We'll see. Looking pretty good on our fuel. We could actually start moving around our navies for more exercises to get experience if we wanted to. Looks like Nationalist Spain is going to end up winning this, which again is good for me. I would prefer there be some division in the communist bloc, so we don't have to worry about them later. We do actually have enough war support that I could go for partial mobilization. That becomes very tempting to me if I can just get a bit more political power. Very, very tempting indeed. We could go for some doctrines. Let's see. I think instead we are going to go for our improved efficiency cap. Let's start building these a little bit faster. Producing a pretty good amount of towed artillery at the moment, actually. I think what we're really missing is just going to be infantry equipment. We'll need a lot more support equipment later, but for now, this seems okay. So let's go here and actually toss in, let's say, the recon companies. That would cost me 160 support equipment. We can afford that. Recon is usually pretty good. Let's just go ahead and toss that in. We will eventually be changing these guys around for some artillery-focused divisions, but not at the moment. Low on manpower. Yeah, that's going to be a thing for a bit. We do have a volunteer-only government, so that'll change. Grand battle plan. All right, let's continue with our doctrine. We can go for the extra defense and organization. For all infantry, seems pretty good. New submarine hulls are unlocked. We could go for improved torpedo launchers and kind of toss those all in together. Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and research that next. Why not? And yes, we do need to go for some extra training with our Navy since we're getting capped out on our fuel. I think one new thing that was added in is we can use our extra experience to rush certain types of scientific research. I think. I've never tried it, though. All right, the King's Party is done, which means, by the way, my flag has changed. We are now proper Great Britain, not the United Kingdom anymore. And we get the English flag with Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, and so on. Edward VIII empowers the King's Party. Following the royal marriage between King Edward VIII and Wallace Simpson, the King has now appointed the leaders of the newly formed pro-monarchist King's Party, Winston Churchill, Oswald Mosley, and David Lloyd George, to form a new government after the nation's extended period without one. Supporters of Edward VIII applaud the formation of a loyal government, but critics point out that the new government is so supportive of the King's wishes that we might as well consider the King to be, de facto, the absolute monarch. Which is exactly what I want. God save the King. All right. Hi, Edward. You look handsome. Man, he's kind of got a drawn-out face there, doesn't he? So, do we want to go for God save the King? I think so. This is going to get rid of the inexperienced imperialist and make us an autocratic imperialist, which just makes gets rid of our political power gain of minus 30%. And since right now I need a lot of political power, this is a very good thing for me. So we are going to go for this. Actually start generating a reasonable amount again, and start playing catch-up. After that, we can start reassessing our continental commitments. try to deal with, let's say, well, we could go for an alliance with Germany. That could be fun. Eventually, we could also try to reclaim India or the Dominions back in the fold, the Commonwealth, unite the Anglosphere, gain the Annex War goal against the United States. Oh, that's going to be fun. Reclaim the British colonies. It's going to be amazing. Hawker Hurricane is done. All right, so we have new fighters we could work with. Not building any at the moment, but it's a thing. Let's go for the concentrated industry, start ramping up our production a little bit more. Still need a lot more support equipment than this. Frankly, we need a lot more military factories than this. Let's go ahead and start planning out some more here. We're going to go for at least a couple. Again, more civilian factories are good because I can convert them later. But I do need to start producing just enough to field some basic troops, because we're going to have some early warfare. We are going to be fighting the Dominions kind of early on. And I really hope that the United States ultimately does not join in with Canada. That would not look good for me, because I don't want to fight the United States too early on. Once I have Canada back in the fold, sure, but until then, no. I think we may want to go for some synthetic oil experiments, just so we have the option of building the synthetic refineries. 1937, anything else really important at the moment? Not at the moment, no. I'm going to go ahead and research. I was thinking maybe we want to get, like, Marines and stuff. Maybe we want paratroopers. Do I think I'm going to go for the air superiority game? Might. It kind of depends. Oh, by the way, here's what I was talking about. You can spend 50 naval power to gain a 150% bonus during the research, which is interesting. Let's go for a new battleship template, because I think I'm going to want to build some of those. I still think capital ships are really good. The left is ascendant in France. All right, so are they officially the French Commune? No, but they're working that direction. Yep, communism is building up, so it's not going to be that long until we see that happen, I think. The Hindenburg disaster. I mean, you're still on your way, if you did things right, to getting the Holy Roman Empire, if you want to do it. Germany, do you want to do it? Nah, they're going to bring in Wilhelm. We could try sending some volunteers down here if we wanted to. Really assist with nationalist Spain winning this. I don't know how much I really care. Am I feeling like there's a good chance Republican Spain wins this? I don't think so. Well, do I want to assist? Do I want to assist the fascists? We could do so. We need to go to our naval map mode and end the naval exercises so I don't run out of fuel. Kind of depends. If I go for God Save the King, I could then go for Consolidate the British Isles and attack Ireland, which is probably something I want to do early on. So I'm not going to send volunteers at the moment, I don't think. But if by the time we have finished with Ireland, we still do not have an ended civil war, then yeah, we'll probably go ahead and do that. Oh, good. Some troops are actually finishing training up. How's our logistics looking? Hey, we're catching up on infantry equipment. Finally. All right. Are we still training up more? No, we're not. Okay, good. Motorized divisions we are currently not using. I could really use a lot more army experience. Let's see. That's a good amount of support equipment. If I can get up to 10, I will throw in the field hospitals to save on my manpower pool a little bit. I think I want to work toward that partial mobilization as early as I can. White peace between India and Pakistan. All right. God save the king. We are now producing a lot more political power. Let's go for Consolidate the British Isles and move our troops in position to reunite Ireland under the British Crown, because it only seems appropriate. Improved ship torpedo launcher is done. Cool. What do I want next? I really don't know. Could go for the maintenance companies. We're already working on this. We could upgrade our fuel refining capabilities. I could go for more resources, but we're okay on that at the moment. More conversion speed to stack those up. I mean, it's a thing, but I don't know if I care. Let's go for the... I would say let's go for anti-tank, but my production is so low at the moment that I wouldn't gain any immediate benefit from that. Let's go for the paratroopers. You never know if we're going to find them being really useful. It could happen. All right, you guys need an offensive line. You're going to push down through Dublin and down to Cork. And that will end up being enough, I think. Ireland will not be able to stand against me. It's really no contest whatsoever. Let's go ahead and toss you guys on the front line. Okay. Looking solid at the moment. We have a good amount of command power. I should probably go ahead and add in some extra traits where I can. Reinforce rates, recovery rates, defense, counterattack tactics. That could be kind of nice. Maximum planning, better planning speed, supply consumption. Well, we're not a brilliant strategist, so I don't think I'm going to get this. I think I kind of like the extra defense, and the counterattack option can be pretty powerful. I think. I don't know for absolute sure if that's true, but it certainly sounds good, doesn't it? All right, so we're just waiting now on consolidating the British Isles and getting enough political power to get the partial mobilization. Realistically, I would like to get this before we declare the war, because then we are going to lose our war support because we'll be in an offensive war and I won't be able to pick this up. So, yes, we definitely should get this before we start attacking the Irish. Whichever comes first, definitely wait until such a time that I can get the partial mobilization. It's too good. Canada seeks immediate patriation. What? After breakdowns in negotiations with Westminster and an unprecedented 63-hour debate, the Canadian Parliament has overturned the British North American Act, instead enshrining the Canadian Constitution in laws untouchable by the British Parliament or monarchy. Although not an anti-British move in its own right, it signals a move away from the Commonwealth policies of the old empire. While a natural step to take for any country wanting to ensure their future stability, it does nothing to alleviate the already tense state of global politics. I don't think that's going to matter for us. I think. But I don't know that to be the fact. Italy abandons the naval treaty. Okay. So they're going to start building up their own navy as much as they want. But without Germany's support, I don't think Italy's going to be that difficult for me to deal with. Still good 20 summit political power away, and then I will go for the partial mobilization. My consumer goods will improve significantly. I'll be able to produce a lot more fuel and convert factories a lot faster, too. It's just good. I mean, yeah, I'd love to go for war economy, but what are the odds that I'm going to have enough war support for that? Pretty much non-existent. So, yeah, let's go for the partial mobilization right now. Okay, good. Now I feel pretty good about attacking Ireland as soon as we have the option. And, yeah, we're going to start producing things a heck of a lot faster. Japan abandons the naval treaty. Okay. What is Japan doing? I haven't checked their... They're still going down the fascist route, so I don't think they're going to change anything. Russia's not going to change anything. And Italy, of course, is still going to go down the fascist route, so nothing new happening down there. Okay. I was kind of hoping to see something a bit more zany coming out of Japan, but 'twas not to be. All right, now we can go to war with Britain. Sorry, Britain. Ireland. Do we want to work on India first, or do we want to work on the Dominions? I'm thinking probably India. So let's go for the Ceylon Forward Operating Base. Or would I rather have the extra army experience with service overseas and extra research speed? No. No. I think we are going to go for the Forward Operating Base, and we are going to finish off Ireland and then start transporting troops to reclaim the jewel in the British Crown, grab India and Pakistan, and so on. We're going to declare war on Ireland. I'm so sorry, Amon de Valera. Whatever your name is, I don't care. You must die. Great Britain declares war on Ireland. It had to happen. All right, go forth. Push, my men. Grab Dublin, and then just work along the coast to Cork and win this frickin' war before he can reinforce anything. This should be a fast, splendid little war. Our men on horseback should be able to do this pretty easily. Push a little bit faster. Push a little bit faster, please. Hey, new battleship hull. We should probably work on some new modules for that. Do we want the airplane catapult? Supposedly that is important for cruisers. So is things like active sonar. What's this? Super heavy battleship hull. Ooh. It still sounds pretty nice. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I care about. It's still 1937. I think I'm okay with getting that. All right. Yeah, let's go for the airplane catapult. Again, supposedly that's kind of important. So let's grab Cork real quick, and Ireland is going to fall immediately. But frickin' boom. The Shadow Scheme factories are taken in use. Well, wonderful timing, just before we lost the end of the war. So that should be 4 more military factories. Is that permanent? Seems that way. The careful preparations we took in the Shadow Scheme to ease the transition of our civilian factories to full war-torn industry has paid off. The new factories are already much more efficient than can reasonably have been expected within this time frame. Boom. All right, so we're going to take all states. We're not going to create a puppet. And we're going to annex Ireland. Dunskies. Beautiful. You guys are now going to transport down to Sri Lanka. Let's go ahead and work on that. I do want to start building up some new armies, so let's go for just a bunch of infantry, honestly. We'll start with 10 at a time, build them up over here. It's going to use up all my manpower, so it's going to be a little while. We are going to need a lot more infantry equipment, but also a lot more support equipment as I start throwing in field hospitals and so on, which we can do now, and we should. Let's toss those in. Wouldn't mind having these logistics companies as well, but that would require more support equipment than I want to use. Or would it? No, wait, it hasn't recalculated for the... it is not recalculated for the field hospitals yet, so we're about to see that change a lot. Oh, yeah, motorized. I did kind of forget that we need to produce that for our field hospitals, didn't I? We haven't researched motorized yet, have we? No, we have. We totally have. Okay, that is something that we definitely need. Let's go ahead and start producing those, please. Oops. Concentrated industry. Lovely. We will eventually want the maintenance companies. We could also go for more fleet and being doctrine. I feel like this stuff is more important than ever. We haven't gone down an air doctrine either. I'm not going to go for any fighter production for a little bit. I think I am going to go for an improvement in, let's say, convoy sailing and so on, because I expect I'm going to be doing a lot more escort missions with destroyers in the early game than massive fighting between our capital ships. Speaking of capital ships, can we review our battleship hulls? Because I want to see what we're able to do with these guys. Well, there it is. Heavy ship Mark 1. Too expensive at the moment. If I created a variant and removed something, we could do that. Fire control system, reduce some secondary weapons, some armor. The engine could be reduced. Anti-air. All of this seems pretty important, though. Could I just reduce the usefulness of one of these to get the production cost down? Like, let's say level 1. No. Remove? Well, why is it not changing the production cost? Okay, if we change our armor, that does change the production value quite a bit. So we could actually go for the battle cruiser armor instead. This doesn't change the production value, though. Or does it? Wait. Yes, it does. It just doesn't look like much. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough. We'd have to go to Battleship Armor 1 or actually just Battle Cruiser Armor 2. So they wouldn't be proper battleships, but we could start producing them without having to violate the treaty. I guess I'm okay with that. Sort of, for now. Alright, yeah, why not? Let's just go ahead and start doing that. Alright. So we have some unassigned divisions. Apparently British Malaya is training up some troops. Well, go ahead and just toss you guys into the pile. Republican Spain is making some serious pushes. Do we want to assist in this, or do I want to focus on my own goals of India? I think I want to focus on my own goals of India. So we're not going to worry about these guys at all right now. It sounded good in theory, but no. Let's just not worry about it. Let's instead start building up the political power we're going to need to hire David Lloyd George and get the extra political power gain. The more I gain here, probably the better. So if we went for bringing the Dominions back into the fold, what we could do is start civil wars in all of our Dominion countries. But that would cost me 100 political power each. So when I have a lot of political power built up, that's when I want to do things. Ah, Mexico is starting their first round of civil wars with the Mexican junta. So that's going to be a fun thing. All right. We are actively training up all these troops. How are the logistics looking? Pretty good with the exception of the motorized. I'm going to go ahead and toss on a few more divisions, 20 if we can. But I don't have nearly enough manpower. So if I want to do this, we are going to have to change up our conscription law as well. Or just take a whole bunch more corps, which I imagine will happen too. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.